Hi, good evening. Tonight I wanted to sort some of my embroidery thread, but first I thought we would take a tour of the embroidery items that I have here next to me. So super excited about this. I love doing embroidery. So this is my basket with all my embroidery stuff in it. Right now my project that I'm currently working on is on top of it. So I'm gonna show you an up close version of the project I'm working on, and then we can go through and sort the individual threads, the individual embroidery threads. Okay. So I bought a pack of 3 hand towels, like kitchen hand towels. And I bought some different iron-on designs for these towels. So that's how I made this. So I took the iron-on design and ironed it onto this hand towel. You can see where I haven't done it yet. So like the pie here still needs to be embroidered, and the little designs up here, the little knobs on the oven still need to be filled in, and this little design down here. So that's where that design is, and you just follow it with the thread. So it says hot out of the oven, which I think is super cute. And then the oven's up there, and I'm not sure what other colors I want to use yet. I think I'm just going to do maybe a black or a gray for these designs. But I chose to do a pink for the words, which I'm not sure if I regret or not, because it is a pink words with the red design of the oven. So I'm not sure exactly what I was thinking with that, but I think it's cute nonetheless. So I haven't worked on this in a minute. I need to get back into it. But I think it's super cute. So on the other side, it's also pie related. So I wanted to make sure that I did similar designs on each side. So this one says made from scratch, and it's got a pie on it with a first place ribbon and a little apple at the bottom there. I think it's so cute, and I wanted to do 2 designs that were related, so if I hung this up in my kitchen, I could flip it to one side and have it be pie theme and pie theme on both sides. The packs that I got are both kitchen related and kitchen themed. There's one with measuring spoons, and there's just a whole bunch. I think there's one with ice cream. I think they're super cute, and I want to make stuff that I can use as well. So that's the thought process behind these designs. So not only will I use them as actual hand towels in my kitchen, but I will have made them myself, which I'm super just excited about. I think it's so nice to have something that I made instead of something store-bought. I mean, technically, yes, I bought all of these things from the store, but the design and the color and my time has gone into making each part of the towel, right? So I think it's really, really neat. Okay, so this is what my embroidery basket looks like. This was a gift, a Christmas gift. Last year, I actually got this as part of the Secret Santa from my job at the time, which I thought was super cute and super nice. I love this. The girl that got it for me got it from a little thrift store in town. I don't really know what it was made for, necessarily, but it is now my embroidery basket. All of my embroidery related items in here, my string, my threads that we're going to be sorting, my extra towels that don't have designs yet, my embroidery hoops, and then I have a little Christmas ornament that came with the present. It's still hanging on there because it's not Christmas yet, and my tree is not up. I took out some of the louder things, and I set them on the floor over there just so that I don't make too much noise. So there's more stuff, but maybe that's for another video. Next thing I'll show you is my embroidery thread box that I bought a few weeks ago. So I bought this little box with this lid. It's a bit loud, so I opened it off camera. I've got my needles in here and my needle threader, that's what they're called, I think, yeah. This guy. It threads the needle. It's a needle threader, yes. That's how that works, okay. And then I've got some that I've sorted so far. I definitely don't have enough space in this box for all of the thread that I bought. So I have a light blue, a dark blue, and then a mix of light and dark blue. And then same with the greens. I've got a light green, a dark green, and then a green that's mixed with both lights and darks. I've also sorted the yellows, reds, and pinks. And then I have a couple up here from a older project. And I have some whites down here. So what we're going to be doing today, just so that I can get my threads organized, we are going to be sorting through a few of my embroidery threads. So the box, that plastic container, came with these little guys, thread holders, I suppose. So you just wrap the thread around here and then you put them in the container. It's so convenient. So that's what we'll be doing today. So let's pick a color. Let's see here. I think we will go with purple. So I've got 5 different purples. I've got so many colors. Let me make sure they're all the same number. They are not. Okay, lovely. Hold on. So this one's 580, this color purple. But this shade of purple is a 571. And then we have a light and dark purple mix. Wait a minute. Yep, this one's 251, and this one's a mix, both the light and dark purples. So I want to make sure that I pick all 5 of the same number so that I can finish one whole color in this video. So we're going to go with 580, this nice royal purple. I think it's a royal purple. So I'm going to go with this one. Okay, there's one. And the other one. So I have them all just kind of tossed in here. Oh, there's one 580 and this one's 571. They're tripping me up. Okay, this one's 571 as well. There should be one more. 580. Oops, I already did it. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. Each color in the pack that I bought. Oh no, that's 571 as well. There should be 5. bundles of each color. Why am I having such a hard time finding color I'm looking for right now? Okay. Alright, it's not a huge deal. We can just do 4 strands. Okay. So this is 580. These look like they are the brand Iris. I don't know if you want to read that. Yep, Iris. I bought these at Michael's. And I got a big pack because I was thinking that when I bought the designs, the iron-on designs, and the hand towels, that I would need a lot of string. Turns out I absolutely did not need this much string. I just needed to buy the colors that I was going to use for my own individual projects. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna show you, I wanted to do some hand motions, some hand movements with this. I'm gonna separate the string and I'm gonna lay it out on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor in this video so that I can do this. I'm gonna lay out the string around me so that it's not all tangled up. And then I'm going to wrap it around and I'll show you how I do that. So yeah, so I bought all this thread. Sorry, it's going everywhere. I bought all this thread from Michael's because I thought I would need it, and it turns out that I definitely did not. And I went on Reddit and joined a embroidery group. And that's where I learned that, yeah, you're not necessarily supposed to buy all of these strings. You're just supposed to buy them as you go. I suppose it really doesn't matter that much, because now I have a ton of colors and I can just pick from those, but I have found that there are colors that I want that didn't come in this pack. Okay. So you take one of these little guys, and they have little slits on each side, and you just put the string through that first part like that, and then you can just wrap it around. And we're gonna wrap it around until we get the whole string onto here. So I want to do this up close. I don't know how well it's going to focus, but I thought that this might be a good hand motions video, even though it is very, very repetitive. When I do this, I try to make the string or the thread, I suppose, as even as possible throughout the length of the thread holder, so that it fits a little bit more nicely in the container. We just go back and forth until we're all done. I'm almost down one strand. These take forever to wrap, and that's another thing I would say is an issue with buying a big bag of string, is that they are very unorganized. I mean, once you take them out of the package, or if you take off one of those little papers on the end, then it unravels or knots up, and it's just a bit difficult to work with. So I would recommend getting a organizing box for embroidery thread. If you do buy one of those big packs. Okay, so we are at the end of this thread. So I'll flip it around so you can see what I'm going to do. So I looped the first part through this bottom piece, and I'm going to just loop this around the top part, and you probably can't see it. And then I will just thread that right in there and lock that in. Okay, and then we have that. And it's wrapped up, it's real nice and neat. It's really, it's not super flat, but it is much thinner and easier to store, easier to put away, and easier to organize compared to when they look like this. So I think these are much nicer, and this is also part of the reason I'm doing it, to have them all be organized so they're not just floating around in my basket. Okay, so I'm going to move these reds out of here, put them with the pinks for now until I find another spot, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to put these purples right down here, right in there, and we'll fill that up as we go. So now I'm just going to repeat what I did with the last one. So this is another 580. I'm going to take off these little papers. These are the little papers I was talking about. Take these off. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to unravel the thread. I'm going to place it down on the floor around me. And separate it so that there's no knots and no tangles, so that it's nice and easy to wrap around the thread holder. I don't know if the thread holders have a specific name or if it's fine if I call it that, to be honest. I did not think that I should look up the name of them before I started this video. Okay, so we take another one. We're going to hook the string through the top slit there, and then we're just going to wrap this around I would also highly recommend, if you're getting into embroidery, I would recommend the iron-on designs, unless you're an artist. I think it would be very hard to make your own design or sort of eyeball it. The designs have definitely helped me with my projects. It helps me stay concise, it helps me thread in a straight line. I think that those designs are just very helpful. I started embroidering a few years ago. Not during COVID, a couple years after COVID, but still a couple years ago now, probably 2022. I think it's super fun and relaxing. Okay, I'm at the end of this string. We're going to do the same thing here. Let me see. Yep, I'm just going to put it right through that one. And then we've got another one. Very nice. Okay, I'll put that in the container. And we will move on to this next one here. I'll take the strands off each, or not the strands, the papers off each side. Okay. And then we will also unravel this one. So I will lay this around me like I did for the last two. And then we will wrap this one up. Okay, so what was I talking about? Starting embroidery. This one might not stay untangled, so it's giving me a hard time. Okay. And sometimes this happens, which is, again, why I recommend sorting them, so this isn't something you have to deal with when you're actually trying to make your project. Okay? Alright, we're all good. We're gonna go ahead and get started with this one. Okay, we'll put that through there, just like that. I pressed this part down. There's like some extra string that comes through there, and I press that down so that I can wrap it up so it stays nice and tight against the plastic here. Okay, so yes, I started embroidering in 2022 just because I had seen some projects online that I thought looked really cute, like the little potted plants. You can see that I've got some plants behind me. Maybe one day I can do a plant tour and show you guys, but those were the designs that I was most drawn to with the embroidery projects. I think they're super cute. Oh, look, we got some tangles going here. There we go, we're all good. Okay. I think they're super cute. I love plants. And then another project I did was a bunch of flowers. And that was a beginner kit before I bought all of these strings. The beginner kit showed me a bunch of different stitches. It gave me a pattern to follow, and it gave me some thread to get started. So that's how I really learned to embroider, one of those beginner kits. I've seen some controversy online about whether or not the kits are very good. I think it's just a hobby. Do what makes you happy. You know, if you want to buy those kits and complete the kits, and completing that kit makes you feel like you've done something and that you've been productive, then do it. By all means, just do it. Just have fun and find a way to relax that works for you. I think that buying the iron-on designs and buying some like kitchen towels or washcloths, it's also a good idea because it's still a hobby, it's still a project, but you just get to make something that you can use. I think the kits tend to be more geared towards just making something to put on display, to put something on your wall. And I just moved on from that to doing the hand towels because I think they will make cute decorative pieces in my house that are also functional. So that's why I've decided to branch into that side of embroidery. Alright, and moving on to the last one here. Like I said, there's normally 5 in a group. I'm not really sure where the 5th one is. Probably got lost somewhere, and that's okay. I've got so much purple. I don't think I will ever use all of this, so it's totally okay. Alright, you know the drill by this point. We are going to separate this strand and hopefully not get it all knotted up, which I seem to be failing at already. Alright, we're going to put that part over there and just spread this out on the floor around me. Before we start wrapping it up. But yeah, like I was saying, just there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing the kits and hanging them up and having fun that way. Like, don't let somebody else tell you how to do your hobby. I mean, unless you really want that person's advice because you want to try something new. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is don't let anyone tell you that you're doing your hobby wrong, because the whole point of a hobby is to have fun. So if you're having fun, then you're doing it right. Okay, we've got this string separated. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. This last one here, I'm gonna hook it in there just like that, and we're gonna wrap this up. Alright, so I think I took my hands down. I wrap it up like that usually so that that piece stays down just like that. I don't know if that focused. There you go. And then we will just wrap this up. Alright. When I embroider, I usually will grab a cup of hot chocolate or a cup of hot cider, especially in the winter, and sit down and I'll put on a podcast or an audiobook and just listen to that while I embroider. I think it's really relaxing. It's really nice to do that right before bed so I can wind down and relax. And it takes my mind off of my day, and it takes my mind off everything I have to do the next day, and I can just relax a little bit and just sit down and just empty my brain, or just listen to a silly story, or learn something new via a podcast or audiobook. So yeah, if you've watched this far, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. I'm almost unwrapping this one up, and we will close out. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If you've liked any particular part and you would like me to just focus on that aspect in another embroidery theme video.